Bloody hell. Right, I'm parking it here. Stuff it. Stuff it. Right, what do we do to turn this shed off? Hello everybody, welcome to Chaz Draycott Media and welcome to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Today you join us on the ground at Stansted near London and it is night time, and that's because we're going to be doing a night flight today to Bordeaux in France. This is a flight that I've done before for commentary duties, and I did it on a Ryanair 737, not particularly this one, which is Delta Hotel Hotel, with the split scimitar wingletty thingies, but I wanted to do another flight on VATSIM, and I was struggling to find a flight to do tonight. I have got one chartered that has been paid for through my website. It's a one-off sort of length flight. It's a very long one, so I can't really squeeze it into a day very easily, so that will be done. You know who you are, by the way, said person that chartered it, so thank you very much. I have responded to them and made sure that they know that it will be done. Unfortunately, today is not that day. But we're in the Ryanair PMDG Boeing 737-800. Really looking forward to flying this aircraft again. Been flying the Phoenix quite a lot recently, and this was the first payware aircraft that I got. So I'm super excited to get back into this thing because it has been a while. I'm going to be using my usual VATSIM scratch pad. I'm going to be flying on VATSIM tonight, so I'm going to be checking if there's going to be any controllers on, and I need to get my other lovely, what are they called? What are they called, these? What are they called? Clipboards. I've got my checklist. So we're going to be starting everything and getting ready to have our clearance and so on. So we're going to get everything set up first before we do that. We've got our parking brake set to begin with. Battery guard closed. Standby power closed. We need the left central fuel pump on, which is already on actually for the APU. Let's get the APU to start, shall we? So the APU is now pressurizing. Once that comes on, we'll put the APU gens on. We want our position lights on steady, which they are. Logo light as required. I'm going to put the logo light on because who doesn't love a logo light? I really want a light on in here. There is. Isn't there a dome light or something in this part? There it is. Dome light, banging. Then we want the emergency exit lights guard closed. The APU gens are ready, so we'll pop those on. There we go. The bus is transferred nicely. Passenger signs, yep, we want that on, and we want the fasten seatbelt signs on. Packs auto to high. We then want the IRS mode selectors to the nav position, which are up here. It's all down to the FMC. Now I'm going to go over to the iPad on the left hand side here because we need to import our data from SimBrief. Down to Bordeaux today is Ryanair 7 Charlie Delta as our flight number. What I tend to do now is put the airline, a number, single digit number, and then my initials basically. We want the departure weather. It is 1012 on the QNH. We need to check that down here. That's 29.92 at the moment. So we want it in that, and we want it to put it to 1012. We need to sort out the panel brightness on here, don't we? So we want to get our FMC sorted. Position in it, we need to copy this and put that in here so it knows where we are. Then we're going to select our route and do a flight plan request. We've got it from SimBrief, and we're going to do set payload and set fuel, select the route, and then, yeah, it should do the flight plan for us. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we needed to do with it, to be honest. We are going to get GSX. I think my GSX is out of date actually at the moment. We're going to request boarding though. Do we have... There's no jetways, so we need to operate the stairs. Very creepy how those stairs just pop into life. We are going to then go to GSX and request boarding. There's a message on the FMC apparently. There we go. Route uplink loading. So now it's going to sort all the route and everything out for us. We then need to put our departure in and so on. We are on VPilot today. We are connected. There is actually ground at EGSS 121730. Just having a think actually. Is this the first time I've flown the 737 on VATSIM? 121730. Let's tune in.
2013 Tango touch ground. Good evening. Taxi Link Lima, Juliet hold short Link Papa for now, please.
Confirm the stand again, please. For Speedway 13 Tango.
No standards yet. I've got aircraft moving about all over the place, so I'll just get you to follow the aircraft in front for now. Hold short Link Papa on Juliet.
There's a lot going on.
Copy that. Lima, Juliet, and Papa 1 follow the aircraft in front. Speedbird 13 Tango.
He says he's got aircraft all over the place. Is there?
I
don't see
Kilo
him. There's
X-ray,
Ryanair there.
to Harden Point, Romeo 1, runway.
Oh yeah, there's an aircraft.
Via Link Alpha.
There's another one further down there. Don't see a huge amount of other aircraft though that this guy's on about. We're going to go.
Once the low-cost airline pulls out of the Alpha, we shall turn into Alpha and park on stand. Thanks. Good night.
We need the departure for today. Where are my charts? Goodness me. We're on the Nugba 1 Romeo departure. However, the passengers are boarding now. They're over here. They're going to start getting on. We need to get clearance from them. I'm not sure if ground is doing delivery or not. Let me just get the right clipboard out. Should be the Nugba 1 Romeo departure. They've just called up to speak to them though, so we need to wait our turn for a sec.
Stansted ground speedbird 13 Tango, negative on the stand preference.
FMC, as far as I know, is all good up to the point where we just need to know
Kilo X-ray, take Link Alpha straight ahead
departure.
of you, no worries. Continue on Juliet, take Link Bravo, your next left-hand turn coming up, please.
Should we do it? I'm scared. I've not done proper VATSIM.
Speedbird 13 Tango, stand 12 via Juliet Link Alpha.
Wait for them to call back and we'll do it.
Stand 112 via Juliet Link Alpha, speedbird 13 Tango. Thank you.
Stansted ground, good evening. Ryanair 7 Charlie Delta, stand 5-1, Boeing 737-800, looking for clearance to Bordeaux, please.
Ryanair 7 Charlie Delta, Stansted ground, good evening. Cleared Bordeaux via the Nugba 1 Romeo departure, talk 3231, information might now come, QNH 1012.
Nugba 1 Romeo departure, QNH 1012, squawk 3231, information is Mike, Ryanair 7 Charlie Delta.
Ryanair 7 Charlie Delta, be back correct.
Fantastic, look at that, straight back on VATSIM. Boom, done it. Dead good me. Right. Oh, I'm well proud of myself. Okay, so it is the Nugba 1 Romeo departure that we're going to be on today. Runway 22. We can route that in there. Takeoff. We needed. Oh, sugar. We needed to execute that. Then we go to takeoff. Yes, we have our V speeds. Cool. That is very good. Center of gravity. Let's check the trim. 4.79 for that. Nice. Okay, so I'm just going to check what we've got to do next, and I'll give you a beauty shot.
And instructor at 25 Yankee Charlie, Kilo stand 13, sorry, on your left, I've got aircraft in stand 12.
Okay, so next on the checklist for the aircraft FMC, it's now the transponder that we need to set. So obviously he's given us our squawk code, which is 3231. 3231. IAS max speed. So I believe this is your VR speed for the aircraft. So that is V2, sorry. So it's 149. Set that on here. 149. We also then need to do, is it our takeoff runway course as well? Takeoff runway. So the runway heading is 222. Okay, that's 222. Initial altitude needs to be set, so we need to check the departure, which is the Nugba 1 Romeo departure. And it is 4,000 feet as the initial altitude, so we'll pop that in on here. Nicely done. That was very well scrolled. This clipboard is doing my head in, actually, I'm not going to lie to you. We then have the flight altitude. Sorry, no, I've missed a few bits. Yaw damper goes on, which is over there. And then the window heat goes on. I never get this right all 4 times, but boom, we've smashed it. And then we have the flight altitude set. Flight altitude is going to be flight level 330 today. Landing altitude I just put at 50. Flight directors, LNAV and VNAV. This is the moment of truth to know whether things have worked. So we've got a flight director there. We've got a flight director there. We're going to press VNAV. It's got it. LNAV. Got it. Boom. Smashing. Minimums ref, baro or radio. I'm not going to do that. Altimeter ref 1012 HPA, auto brake to RTO. Comms radios, doors closed. Okay, so now we just need to wait for passengers. And for these guys to stop talking.
And all stations, the Stansted ground will be closing in approximately 10 minutes time.
There was just a call there that Stansted ground is closing in 10 minutes time, so we need to get these passengers on and get moving, because I do want to be told where to taxi and then at least handed off to Unicom. So we're going to be pushing back from stand 5-1 and we're going to be pushing back on to Charlie East. Come on, Pen. We're going to be going for runway 22, probably going to holding point Romeo 1 or Sierra 1, but he's going to tell me where to go. So there's a few more passengers yet to go. Once we've got passengers on board though, we can request pushback, and then we can be all good to go basically. Request pushback and start up clearances next up, then we arm the auto throttle, then we do all the rest of the fuel pumps, aft fuel pumps as well, electric hydraulics pumps, anti-collision light, parking brake, and so on. And then we get GSX to push us back. I'm not sure if you noticed this from the last shot, but that bus has literally turned up to just drop off one bloke. There's other aircraft making a racket round here. What have we got? There's a Ryanair 737 coming in here. Not sure what stand they're going to go to, but obviously we're going to call for clearance to push in just a sec. Pretty sure that bong means that all passengers are boarded, so we can operate the stairs now, get rid of those, and we will request pushback clearance. Stansted ground, Ryanair 7 Charlie Delta, request pushback stand 5-1 please.
Ryanair 7 Charlie Delta, just hold position for Dalgo aircraft, taxi mode.
Hold position, Ryanair 7 Charlie Delta.
And Ryanair 7 Charlie Delta, stand 5-1.
Push and start approved, Ryanair 7 Charlie Delta, thank you. Okay, so let's get GSX to prepare for pushback and departure.
Apologies, I should have said we could use the east and west lines, Ryanair 214.
Don't know what that was.
Ryanair 214, yeah, I was kind of planning on whether you're going to meet each other in the middle, but there was no big issue, cheers.
Oh. Okay, so that guy apparently wasn't giving any sort of communication or anything. Right then, what do we need to do? The checklist here, Chaz. Come on, read the thing. I get proper flustered sometimes. Auto throttle arm, I can do that on my controls here. Left, right and centre fuel pumps as required. That is all of these. Do we have fuel in the central tanks today? No, we do not, so we don't need the centre pumps. We'll do those. Electric hydraulic pumps on. That's those two. Anti-collision light comes on. We then do the parking brake is set, ground equipment removed, yep, and engine area is clear. Have we got rid of the chocks? Let's make sure. FS actions, ground services, remove the chocks. There we go. Yeah, sometimes pushback doesn't begin until you get rid of the chocks. That ground power unit will remove any moment now. There it goes. And then we should be ready for pushback, everybody. We need the secondary display unit to be on engines. I'm pretty sure that's this because that's the lower DU. So we've got that on engines ready. Then we need to do the packs off, APU bleed on, and then we start the engines. And we need to go nose left, tail right.
Release parking brakes, please.
There we go.
Commencing
Okay,
push.
so we need to put the packs off. We need to put the APU bleed on. Engine right, engine to ground, and then the fuel lever control switch thingy majig down here goes Bordeaux. Okay, parking brakes set. We're gonna keep the. Do we want the dome light on? Where is it? Nah, don't want dome light on. We now have engine 1 started. We need engine 2 started. So that is this to ground. And then we wait and we'll put some fuel in. And we'll do an onboard shot of this one so you can see it from inside the cabin. And see what that sounds like.
And it's 2014 closing in. Thanks very much. Have a good night.
Bypass pin removed.
Yeah, you did.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Okay, I believe all engines good to go by the look of it. After that we do generators 1 and 2 on, so we do that with these. Change the buses over there, smashing stuff. We then have the probe heat on, which goes on here. Packs go back to auto. Oh, excuse me. APU bleed comes off. Engine start switch is going to continuous for all of this. Flaps is required. Flaps go to 10. Elevator trim set for takeoff. We need to do that.
Correct, 294, good timing. That's log off. Cleared to Eindhoven, factored to Echo departures.
Init ref index. Init ref index. Takeoff 4.79.
Score 6242, low max flying.
It's on 4.5 at the moment.
Right, 294. We're back correct. Brake station static ground is now closing over to Unicorn 122.8 at the side of the line.
Thanks for the ATC, good night. Okay, so over to 122.8. I need my dome light back on, don't I? 22.8. Okay, there we go. Right, we're sorted on that front now. Everything else is all good. Lower DU needs to come off. It never actually came on in the first place, which I find a bit weird. Taxi lights on, runway turn off lights as required. So taxi light goes on. We can now see-ish. And we're going to now call and tell everybody what we are doing. We're going to go to holding point Sierra 1, I think it is. Yeah, we'll go Sierra 1. I'm going to note that down on my clipboard. Holding point Sierra 1. We're going to go via Charlie East, Charlie Hotel. Stansted traffic, Ryanair 7 Charlie Delta taxiing holding point Sierra 1, runway 22 via Charlie East, Charlie Hotel. Doesn't seem like there's much going on in the way of lights for me to be able to see. Let's turn the... yeah. Taxi lights aren't very bright on this. I do want to put that that dome light on, you know, just so I can see for a little bit. But it's good to be back in the 7-3. It's nice to be doing a night flight again as well. I know it's not the prettiest thing to see out the window for you lot, but I think they're quite interesting to do because you have to rely a lot more on the instruments as opposed to what you can see out of the window. And I find that kind of exciting because you have to really trust the accuracy of your instruments and what you're dealing with. So we're on Charlie East. We then just carry on straight to Charlie. There's a sort of slight diagonal, and then we're going literally left-right. We're on a bit of a slow taxi here actually. Only 11 knots at the moment, so I'm going to give it a little bit more push. So we're literally going left and then right. Sierra 3 is this holding point, and then Sierra 1 is going to be the next one. For runway 22, ooh, a bit of a bump there. And now we're going to bring it to a stop. We're just going to hold short. Stansted traffic, Ryanair 7 Charlie Delta holding short, runway 22 at Sierra 1. Okay, so let's do our takeoff checklist before we get moving then, because we're all good to go pretty much. So we've got the trim all sorted before takeoff. We need parking brakes set. We need fuel reset and then rate on the flow. Central fuel pumps as required. De-ice, cabin lights, flight instruments, takeoff data, nav equipment, sound. We now go to takeoff clearance. We need landing lights on. Runway turn-offs come on. Strobe light goes to whatever that one is. And then we have transponder goes down to TA and RA, which is that one. TFC and then clock. Stansted traffic, Ryanair 7 Charlie Delta departing runway 22, Stansted traffic. Click TFC, click clock. Parking brake off. Roll forward. Time to depart. Come on. God, I forget how fat this thing feels on the floor. Come on, piggy. Come on. Okay, we're going to do a Ryanair style takeoff here, so we're just going to roll onto the runway. Sweep it in, start building up the revs now, get up to 50%. That's such a cool sight every time you line up with a runway. Engines are stabilised, let's crack on. Click that to get into toga. Okay, airspeed is alive. 80 knots. 100 knots. The aircraft will call out V1 for me.
V1.
Rotate. Slight movement to the right. Positive rate, so gear is coming up. We need a steeper climb than this. Big, big climb. Stansted traffic, Ryanair 7 Charlie Delta passing through 1,500 Stansted traffic. Nose goes down. Following that flight director. It makes me look mental at this point because I'm just looking down. I'm looking at that screen down there. Go up a notch on the flaps. Can almost go flaps completely clean at this stage. Just got to wait till we catch up with that speed. I put the lever back into climb on my right hand, and then flaps go clean. I want to fly the departure though, so I'm going to try and follow this. I'm going to fly it myself. I like hand flying the thing. You can see my hand just in the corner of shot moving around on the stick. Obviously the Boeing 737 uses a yoke instead of a stick. We've taken off, and then we have auto brake off, gear up, engine start switches go to the off position, gear lever goes to off, then we turn the runway turn off lights off. So we need to put the gear in the off position. Need the runway turn off lights off. Oh, we're descending quite a lot here. Lost a big chunk of altitude there. I think I just overdid it a little bit on that turn. My bad. Engines need to go into off. Like that. Come on. Flipping heck, she doesn't want to play ball here. Yeah, it wasn't perfect, was it? Oh, big chunky left turn there. It's very sensitive on the stick at this sort of speed, the 737. The trim seems to be broken, like I'm pulling up to stay level. Like I'm pulling up a lot. Not sure, did I not set the trim properly? Because if I level the nose out, it just points down. Let's put the autopilot in. That was not great. I wonder if the trim is completely done. It's gone past 5 now. It was 4.79, wasn't it? It doesn't say anymore. That's fine. Unable next altitude. It's 4,000 feet that it should be at. Why is it descending? VNAV's gone. There we go. That was weird. The VNAV had just completely kicked out. What had I done? Sorry everyone. Bit shoddy that. The aircraft has managed to pick up the pace at least. Should start climbing now, I imagine. It's putting a bit of power in at least. Okay, I think it's going to climb now. Yep, there we go. Thank God for that. Right, let's have a little beauty shot, shall we, to break things up. And by beauty shot, I mean, let's look at the darkness, shall we? Let's have a look at how far we are on the departure then, and see when we can climb past it. Okay, so we've hit Nugbo, so that means now we can go up to our cruising altitude of 33,000 feet. The PMDG 737 really is a scrolling simulator. Come on. There we go. I'll make sure that the cruise is set at 380. No, we want 330, please. 330. And we need to click this button here, altitude intervene. The aircraft's going to manage the M1, and we are going to climb.
A23 Delta, Charles Power, 37 Matthew, sir.
This isn't going to be the most scenic of flights. Going to go into standard pressure. It applies across both, because in the A320 and the Phoenix you have to manually do it on both sides. But yeah, we're climbing now up to cruising altitude of 33,000 feet, and we'll let the aircraft continue on its way, and then obviously in a little bit we'll then start to mess with what's left on the checklist. So let's just make sure that there's nothing that we've missed at this point. Yeah, once the autopilot's gone in, you're pretty much golden. Landing lights, once we get to 10,000 feet, come off. They're going to come off any second now, really, because we're just going through 9,300. Seatbelt signs can come off a little bit early. Let's pop them off. Let's put the landing lights off now, shall we? All is good. Taxi lights should have come off a long time ago, but that's absolutely fine. I enjoyed that. I love communicating with the ATC, and I like having Unicom on the way there as well, which is really cool. But now, it's time to get up to cruise and enjoy ourselves. This is part of the less interesting bit about night flying. When you're at cruise altitude and you've got the dome light off, you've got a beautiful view out the window. So let's bring up the charts and see how we are getting on. We are currently just over the English Channel, going down towards Sitet, Etrat, and then we're going to make our way down through France, get to LMG, and then make the right turn to Mar, And then, to be fair, it's a straight-in approach into Bordeaux. We're going to choose a stand in a little bit when we're a bit further into cruise. Can't quite remember where Ryanair land. I think it's this side that Ryanair land at, or at least stay at. I'm enjoying the flight so far. It's nice to be back in the 737. Not a lot to look at, as I've said, but to be honest with you, I don't mind that too much. It's one of those things. I enjoy cruising at night because, I don't know, it's just very, very chill. There's nobody to think about in terms of clearance or any radio stuff. I'm going to look on Volanta on my right-hand screen, but no, there's actually no centres or controllers or anything on. Nobody on at Bordeaux either, so it's going to be just Unicom all the way down now, basically, to the end. Just making the right turn now at Sitet. Not that you can really tell. It does sort of lean the aircraft a little bit, and obviously it moves on this screen here, but yeah, we're now just turning right a little bit more towards France. We're not quite over solid ground just yet, as you can see here, and we have quite the distance to go. So I'm going to check out for a little bit, and I'll catch you when we begin our descent, unless something exciting happens before then. Okay, I had a little look on Google Maps, and it looks like Ryanair park along here, so we're going to go for gate Alpha 7 when we get in there. So I'm going to write that down on here, stand Alpha 7. We're going to be coming in on runway 23, so we need to obviously put runway 23 on here. The arrival is the LMG2L arrival, and the QNH down there at the moment. Well, we don't need to get it just yet, to be honest with you. We're going to be vacating runway 23, hoping to vacate. I mean, I'd hope to get off at Charlie, to be honest, because that's quite a long way down. I don't really want to try and get off at runway 11. It will feel a bit messy, to be honest, if we taxi off there. Bravo would be brilliant, but it's a 737, so it's going to go quite far down. The reversers don't seem to do anything. The auto brakes don't seem to do anything. It's one thing I always forget with the 73. Then we're going to be going in on Papa 3, Whiskey 2, and then Alpha 7. But still a while to go just yet, as you can see. We've only just got over mainland France now, so it's going to be a good bit of time left to go on this journey. Block time is 1 hour 45 minutes on this flight. Airtime is an hour and a half. Actually, no, block time's 2 hours. Airtime is an hour and a half. And we've still got quite a bit of that to go. We've been in the air now for 38 minutes, so still a good hour in the sky before we get down. Okay, it's not going to be too long now before our top of descent, so what I'm going to do is prepare the bits that we need to prepare for said descent. Just getting my clipboard out, sorry. We need to make sure that we have in the descent winds, so we're going to go to descent, forecast descent winds request. We'll get those loaded in, and then we're going to look at things like the minimums. So the minimums are where? It's going to be, oh, it says there's a different chart, didn't it? I just read that literally as we came off it. For final approach, see 11.1A. So we need to go to these. 11.1A. Where's 11.1A? This one. Okay, so the minimums. Is that what that is? Oh, Cat 3 ILS. A or B? Ah, that's Cat 2 ILS. We'll just do radio at 200. And we intercept at 3,000, and the localizer is 110.3, and the approach course is 225. And then we need to put that into the aircraft. So we do that down here. So we put, it is 110.3. Select that, 110.3. Pop that in there. And then the final approach course you put in up here. So it's these two. This one, oh, it's probably behind my head. This one. So it's 225, so we're going to go left. Scroll down, that is. And then you need to match it on this one over here as well. So you need to make sure that that's plumbed in on both of those. And then what you'll see is that it comes up there. and it's yellow and crossed out if it doesn't match up. Apparently the FMC has something for us. Forecast uplink ready. Load those, they'll pop in here. Nice. What else do we need to get done? What's the Barrow going to be? Arrival Barrow is 1016. Too many clipboards. The thing is, I was fed up of bending the checklists and so on. We're going to be intercepting at 3,000 feet, so we need to change the... What's that say? No descent path after Mar. Going to put this down to 3,000. Get the MCP altitude ready to go. Tasty. And just checking if there's anything else we need to do. FMC approach speed ref, we need to do that. We've got the localizer frequency and the course all done. So you go to init ref, index, approach, and you choose one of these three to put into here. So we're going to go flaps 40, 142 knots on the approach. And then the aircraft knows there, look, it's there now. Top of descent is less than 30 miles away, so I'd say we've got all that done in pretty good time. And then it's going to be time to begin our descent. One of my favourite things in the 737 actually, because the bass note that comes out of this thing, these CFMs, is just mega. It's one of the things that PMDG have got absolutely spot on, is the sounds. I'm looking forward to hearing them once again. Okay, I've been in the hour now for an air. Been in the air now for an hour and 1 minute. So it'll be very soon that we'll be getting into Bordeaux. We'll be there before we know it. We have top of descent in 10 miles time. The aircraft will slow down. It'll come up on here that it's managing the N1, and it'll obviously start dropping down. We're getting in though, because it's literally just a right turn and it's pretty much a straight line on this descent, so very, very easy descent. Spooling down, speed is dropping on here, and here we go. So let's go in the cab and listen, shall we? What a fantastic noise that is. We have now started our descent into Bordeaux. You can hear the trim wheel moving around a little bit. I'm going to reduce this to 20 miles on that screen. We never actually clicked TFC on the first officer's screen. Not that it matters to them over there, because nobody is there. But still, I've been landing the Airbus a lot recently. Been doing some circuits with my friend Dan. He got me into doing circuits at Edinburgh. And then we started doing some at East Mids after we were there the other day, East Midlands. And then I've been doing some practicing at another airport, which I'm not going to tell you about yet because it's a bit of a secret, because I'm going to be flying there again soon, but I've needed to practice landing there, put it that way. It's not Innsbruck. It's actually been really good fun doing circuits and so on, but I've been doing those in the Phoenix A320 and the fly-by-wire A320 Neo, so I've not actually landed the 737 in ages. I think I did a flight with Dan actually. I'm just going to check Volanta on here. I'm going to bring it over onto the main screen so you can see it as well. In terms of my flights, where is it? A320, there. We flew from Glasgow down to East Midlands. Sorry, East Midlands up to Glasgow, I do apologise. That was the last time I flew the 737 on the 12th of August. It's the 28th of August today, so yeah, it's been a couple of weeks since I've flown this aircraft. I like the sounds it makes, I like how different the procedures are to the A320. I love that they are very different aircraft. It does keep telling me steep descent after Mar. That's after this, because it's flight level 240 and then flight level 190 at Chala. That's okay plane, don't worry. But we're on our descent now into Bordeaux, and before you know it, we're going to be on the ground. It's only going to be about 15 minutes, I think, before we've landed. Everything's all accounted for and present and correct. We'll maybe do a little bit on VATSIM just to tell them. Bordeaux traffic, Ryanair 7 Charlie Delta descending into Bordeaux, runway 23. I've never noticed this before. This big yellow sticker with the reg on it, that's really cool. I love the little details like that per aircraft as well. Obviously this version of it has the split scimitar winglets on it as well, compared to just the standard one upward pair of winglets. But there's really not a lot to look out the window right now, I'm very sorry. But we are descending, we're on our way down. We never put the minimums in, did we? We never put the minimums in. We're going to do 200 on radio minimums. It's just down here in this little screen. You can probably see the green letters going up if you know where to look for them. Just there, radio 200. Auto brake as required. We're going to go auto brake 2 for this, because I want to feel them actually do something this time, to be honest with you. Everything else is all good. It's just a case of keeping the speed. Landing lights and passenger signs come on at 10,000 feet, and then we go through our approach checklist. Okay, so we've had a message saying that there is drag required, so I'm going to pop a bit of the speed brake out here. We are on quite a steep descent as well, 2,300 feet a minute down. It was 3,000 just a moment ago. We'll clear that message from the, not the MCDU, the FMC. Still can't see anything. You can tell that we're a bit lower now though, because you can see more of the lights outside. 14,500 feet at present, and looking at the charts, we'll just have a gander at how far through we are. Look, we're just going through the descent now. Still not a massive distance away from the airport actually. So landing lights and seatbelt signs are going to be the next thing. We've got everything else all sorted. Localizer frequency, course, check all that. Arm the approach. Once the glide slope's alive, we bring the gear down, then we sort out the speed and the flaps and so on. The speed brake will be armed when we get onto the approach. We're going to make sure all that's all done anyway, once we get down to the necessary height. Everything up here looks all good. We need to make sure the engines are on continuous as well. The engine modes down here, they go into continuous when you go in to approach on the 737. Just can't see a thing, but still, night flying, really cool. We're going to go slightly left, and then we're literally going to be on approach, I'm pretty sure. And we've barely got any distance left. So we're closer than I thought, actually. Okay, we're nearing 10,000 feet now, so I'm going to put the landing lights on, and we're going to put the seatbelt signs back on. Yeah, this is literally the left turn to bring us in now on the approach. So that screen tells us this ring on the edge here is 20 miles. Bordeaux traffic, Ryanair 7 Charlie Delta, 20 miles to run. Bordeaux traffic, runway 23. It says drag required. We are dragging. Okay, so I'm going to arm the approach now. That's going to start looking for everything. The aircraft is managing all the speed and so on. Continuing to descend. Auto brake is on 2 then. Still a long way to run. It's lined up the localizer and the glide slope, which is good, so it knows that they're going to be alive soon. The diamond is pretty much already captured in a straight line, which is great news. It's just this one we need to get below. Watch this purple number here as well, and this little purple sort of arrow. It'll gradually come down as the aircraft knows it needs to slow down, unless I have to tell it to. I don't think I do at this point. There we go. We've captured the approach, and the aircraft is doing a very steep turn. Is it now going to straighten out and go left? Why is it doing this? Okay. That's very strange. Is that to do with the descent being wrong? Has it just decided that it's going to circle back around and drop us some height? How odd, because yeah, there's the glide slope, look. And now the aircraft is turning left. Because the airport is literally over there. You can see it. You can see the airport over there. What on earth has it done? LNAV and VNAV have gone. But I think, is that because... No. What on earth has happened here? Okay, that's really strange. The aircraft is still in autopilot. It did say that we'd need something after IBD-23. Because we're at 6,000 feet still. Oh, this is odd. We're going to circle around here. We're going to turn right. I'm going to ask the aircraft to go into heading select, and we're going to make a right turn. Please. Please. Why are you being a pig? LNAV's not working. Heading select isn't working. I'm so confused. Yep, let's turn that off. Turn this way. We want to come out of standard pressure, so we want to go into 1012. It's caught the approach again, but I don't want the localizer or the glide slope at this point, please. It's taking us to that airport, whatever that is. This is one of the weirdest things I've ever experienced. Are you going to do something of use? I'm going to turn the aircraft. I'm doing it myself. This is not good. I'm just going to report. Bordeaux traffic, Ryanair 7 Charlie Delta having autopilot issues, so circling back around to approach. There we go. Back into heading select now. We're going to go back to 4,000 feet. Actually, we'll tell it to still go for 3,000. So what's the opposite of 225 as the final approach course then? How do we go direct to in the 737? I can't remember. We need to go to heading 045. That's the opposite of 225 anyway. As soon as it caught the glide slope or caught the ILS, it just went, nah, I'm going to turn right really hard. Was that because it wasn't at the right height or what? What's that mean? Things a pilot shouldn't say. I probably already subtitled that anyway. Do I just do VNav and LNav? Yeah, okay. Let's try that again, shall we? It's not really descending, so we're going to tell it altitude intervene. I've clicked that a few times now and it's not done anything. It knows that we need to slow down at least. I'm going to go into heading select here. And I'm going to go... Oh no. I'm just going to go left of the centre fix a little bit. I'm telling it 3000 and it's not having it. There we go, now it's going to descend to 3000. I'm so sorry about this, everyone. I'm so sorry to those that are on VATSIM that have seen me do this, because this has been horrendous. Engine start switch is going to continuous. Pop those on. And eventually we are going to go and turn right onto the centre fix. But we need to get down to 3,000 feet. Why will you not go down? Please. And now it's descending. Did VNav not come on before? Is that what it was? Yeah, it's turning right again all the way around. Or is it just trying to catch up with that path? Yeah, it's just trying to catch this path, isn't it? Okay, that's fair enough. This is the weirdest thing. I don't know what I've got wrong here or what I've misunderstood, but I'm really annoyed at this. I'm not going to put another notch of flaps in yet, we're just going to stay 180. We've still got the localizer course and everything in. All that's ready to go, it's ready to land basically. Just got to arm the approach when we get to the right point now. Bit of cloud, there's a bit of a glow around the aircraft. Bordeaux traffic, Ryanair 7 Charlie Delta, 12 miles to run, runway 23, Ryanair 7 Charlie Delta. Right, we're about to hit the centre fix now, so I'm going to arm the approach. Hopefully the aircraft doesn't do anything stupid. There it is. There's the runway. Are you going over there? Way, the plane knows what it's doing. Well done. Right, gear down. Let's bring some flaps down. Let's do this, shall we? Bordeaux traffic, Ryanair 7 Charlie Delta, 10 miles to run for runway 23, Bordeaux traffic. Flaps have now gone full, everybody. What else do we need to do? Speed brake is armed. We have auto brakes on 2. Nothing else needs to be done. Glide slope is alive, flaps are down. Engines are in continuous. Let's just check that. Yes, they are. Engines in continuous. The aircraft should be slowing us down even further, but I need to set the approach speed. 140 knots. Let's get it properly slowed down. Flaps are definitely full. No beauty shots here, I'm afraid, everybody, because I just want to get this thing on the ground now. I've got hand on the stick, hand on the throttles, both checklists in my lap, ready to hopefully land this aircraft. Once we get the 1000 call out is when I am going to go for it. We're on the glide slope, descending at quite the rate. Let's give you a beauty shot. The aircraft's doing all the work.
Bordeaux traffic KLM 206 taxiing holding point runway 29er via Whiskey Sierra.
Bordeaux traffic, Ryanair 7 Charlie Delta, runway 23, 5 miles to run. You can see a beacon light and a bit of flashing on the ground just down there. There's somebody taxiing out, ready to depart 2-3. Wait till we're about 3 miles out. 3.5 now. We'll report 3.5 and then, well, we'll just say we're landing. There's 3 miles.
1,000.
Bordeaux traffic, Ryanair 7 Charlie Delta, landing runway 23, 3 mile final. Take the autopilot out. Let's fly this plane. And leave the auto throttle in. And we're going to just disengage it right at the end. And try and follow that glide slope. I've fallen foul of the glide slope a few times in the 737 and dropped it down a bit too far. Looks like I do need to point the nose down a little bit here just to stay with that diamond. A little bit over to the right there. Just nudging the stick, you can probably see my hand moving around a bit. Don't forget, minimums are 200 radio. Let's say approaching minimums any second now.
300. Approaching minimums.
Ready? Minimums. Now.
Minimums.
Continue. Feeling good. A little bit below glide slope. Probably going to get a warning.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Oof. Quite a big hit that. Reverse is on. This plane does not stop, I'm telling you. I don't know what the auto brakes are doing, but I don't know whether I need to touch them first. We've missed that taxiway. Wow. Okay, so we're going all the way down here. So we're vacating at the end. At Papa 6. Oh, the auto brakes were on. But we came to a stop like an idiot. So they are on and they do something. But Jesus, it's all. God, I've said I've been excited and loving this aircraft, and to be honest, all it's done is annoy me. Bordeaux traffic, Ryanair 7 Charlie Delta vacating runway 23 at Papa 6. Bordeaux traffic. Let's vacate off here. Bordeaux traffic, Ryanair 7 Charlie Delta vacated runway 23. Let's get some.
Bordeaux traffic LM206 lining up runway 29er.
29er they're going out on. So they're going to go from our right to left, I believe. Okay. So speed brake, flaps up. Let's do the after landing checklist, shall we? After touchdown or thrust reverse, yeah, we've done all that. Transponder then goes off. Oh God. Sorry. Flaps retract, speed brake down, landing lights come off. There we go. God, the taxi lights are awful on this. Cabin lights is required anti-ice. We need to put the APU on. Make sure it runs. We then put the probe heat off. Engine start switches going to the off position. Engine start switches off.
Bordeaux traffic LM206 taking off runway 29er. Royan 6 Romeo departure.
Good for you, mate. I didn't say that over VATSIM, just for clarity. Auto brake needs to come off. I did that a minute ago because they were useless anyway. And then, yeah, continue on with our taxi, I suppose. So let's check where we are taxiing then. Papa 6, 5, 4, 3. We need to hold short of runway 29er. There's the departing aircraft, actually. KLM, Airbus A320neo, I think. Just as they rotate. So we're going to that stand via Papa 654. Bordeaux traffic, Ryanair 7 Charlie Delta crossing runway 29er. Bordeaux traffic, straight across the runway. What was it? Papa 654 Whiskey 2. Okay, I'm going to have a bit of a debrief on my notepad after this.
Bordeaux traffic LM206 airborne passing 2,500 feet, climbing flight level 380.
Enjoy your flight.
Thanks, nice landing.
Shame the same couldn't be said about the approach. I went round in circles.
I saw, but the landing was nice though, I saw it.
Thank you very much. Enjoy your flight.
Thank you.
You've got to do it every so often. You've got to have a chat with them. It's lovely. Okay, so is that Whiskey 2 there? No, this is Papa 3. Actually, no, that could be Whiskey 2. Yes, next one to the right is Whiskey 2. We need to tell GSX, actually, that we're here. Is it gate A? Oh, Christ. Yes, it will, because it's Terminal A. A7, there we go, smashing. We need to check the landing rate as well, actually. That's something that we haven't done. I'm hoping it's a good one, because it needs to make up for that god-awful approach. Because I'm pretty sure that Alpha 7 is this one. The second of these two lines, I think. This one. This is, yeah. I should have maybe gone around with the taxi. Is it this one? Ah, there's the guy. Why are all the vehicles parked here, though? Oh, God. What? Oh, he's over there. Why is there two of you? Bloody hell. Right, I'm parking it here. Stuff it. Stuff it. Right, what do we do to turn this shed off? We need to make sure the APU is on. So parking brakes are set. Engine fuel control levers go off, but we need to make sure the APU gen is on. So let's switch over to the APU gen. Yeah, taxi lights off. Yeah, we've blinded everyone anyway, so it's fine. Parking brakes, engine fuel control levers need to come off. That's just shutting the engines down. That's the main thing, isn't it? Next up, passenger signs come off, and then the APU bleed will go on. Then we have the anti-collision light off. Fuel pumps then come off, except for the leftmost one because that's powering the APU. Electronic hydraulic pumps come off. Isolation valve goes to open. I said open. Oh, maybe it already was. Flight directors then come off, and then that's it. And then we get the passengers off the aircraft. Flight director off. Flight director off, and we will then request the boarding.
You are currently parked at the wrong parking position.
Yes, I know. I'll tell you what. There we go. I don't feel this is right. That feels like I'm inside a building. Let's request the boarding and
Requested.
see how it looks. I mean, I didn't realise it was there. That's a bit messy. Very messy indeed, but oh well. But welcome to Bordeaux, everybody. After a bit of a difficult night flight here. It was going so well, wasn't it? Until that approach and then the debacle of the landing and the taxi. And to be fair, the landing wasn't so bad. I'm going to check the landing rate actually. Bear with me. I've just selected the wrong flight on Volanta. We're going to drag this in. What are you reckoning? What are you reckoning? Anything under 250 or 200 I'm happy with. I said under 250. 0.99G. I was well outside of the touchdown zone though. Yeah, not my finest work that, but still, yeah, Jesus Christ. You can see the moment I clicked approach, it just went, nah, don't get it. Maybe that was to do with the altitude, I'm not quite sure. Either way, I've enjoyed myself, it's been good to be back on VATSIM, do a bit of communicating, and yeah, hopefully be back again very soon. But thanks for watching everyone, hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you in the next one.